Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to OTL Racing here on Twitch on a fine Thursday evening. We are here for some GT4 action on ACC. Got upcoming GT4 league in a few weeks time. And we have a few nights leading up to that. Bit for evaluation tonight is much more as a casual night. We've had a couple of these the last 2 weeks. And yeah, we have running one again this evening with two 20-minute races from Suzuka and Barcelona, Catalonia. So really looking forward to it. And hopefully you will enjoy what we see this evening. Evening, Jay Higg. How are you doing, man? Hope you are well. So currently on the helicam with Aidan Bro in the Ginetta GT4. Clearly, I think it's going to be pretty solid in that car at the moment. Top of the timings. You can see here. So he's 3.5 tenths clear in practice at the moment. Harry Webb in second position, so he's looking like he'll put a good fight up tonight. We've got Kieran Sharp also in the Ginetta. Harry Webb in the Camaro. And we've got Daniel O'Brien in the BMW. He's in the pits at the moment. We've got David Martin and Dean Thompson both out on track at the moment as well, both in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Also got Batch and Leg also out on track in the Porsche and the Camaro as well. Up to 17 now for this evening. It's good stuff. Should half decent turnout really for just a casual night. Hopefully just a bit of fun racing for people to enjoy and jump in and get more of a feel for the cars, test the cars out a little bit more. Oh, a little bit sideways there from Kieran Sharp, but it keeps it pointing in the right direction. Lovely looking livery, I do have to say. I'm really fond of that. Really minimal, just simple. Lovely looking thing, that. Very OTL on brand, really. So how are you all anyways? Hope you had a good day. Coming towards the end of the week. They do sort of all still feel a bit the same, as much as things have slightly progressed back to normal a little bit. We're still a long way from that, so yeah, the week's still sort of passing by very, very slowly, unfortunately. So Kieran Sharp, I think it's done. He'll be coming into the pits. Go back on board with Aidan. So 213.4 at the moment in these GT4s round here. Someone's had a bit of a mare at the last couple of corners there. Took the cones out. Oh, very serious. Now, he's going to... No, that's either the most stylish pit entry I've ever seen, or he's just styled that one out. And that was a crash. I think that was a crash, let's be honest. So yeah, there's a few more guys just getting in, and then they'll be into qualifying for race number 1. We've got a bit of a train of cars here. David Martin. Oh, I think we have lost a driver. Not sure quite who was there a second ago, but isn't now. Yeah, not quite sure who that was. So I have to see. Hopefully they can hop back in a minute. And there we go, get back on the board. So qualifying for race number 1, both 10-minute qualifying sessions and 2 20-minute races. So a good hour or so of racing, probably going up until about 9:20 UK time. Ah, there we go, that was my answer. It was Andrew Pike, Mr. Fish. We've seen him pop back online, so hopefully he's not experiencing problems. I'm sure we'll see very shortly whether he was or not. So yeah, into qualifying. See what people can do under pressure. 16 cars, so still enough that you really don't want to be further back than your place should be. You want to be a bit further forward, so that you can mix it early on in the race. Still plenty of time, you know, 20-minute race is still plenty of time to make up positions, but the quick guys in these leagues are rapid. Same tonight really, there's a good few quick guys in here. So you don't really want to be letting them get away. So there'll be a couple of minutes until we see, obviously 2 and a bit minute laps. You're going to see people getting 3 laps in, maybe 4 laps at most. So we're a couple of minutes away still from times coming in. Let's quickly check in with Fish. Seen him restart the game a couple of times now, so hopefully he's not having too many problems. Want him to get into the race. Hopefully he can be back in the session nice and soon. Hope it's a bit cooler where you are than it is here. It's going to be even warmer tomorrow, so I'm fully prepared to start whinging my head off. 33 degrees Celsius tomorrow. So we should see, as most drivers now have finished their out lap, so we'll be on to some hot laps now. Let's go on board with the quickest guy in practice, Aidan Bro, in the Ginetta. So we know how quick he is. Be interested to see how that transfers into the GT4s. And see how he mixes it with the likes of Harry Webb, Kieran Sharp this evening. Pike is back in, good. So hopefully that is him staying in. Laura Tao, evening. How are you? Good to see your name pop up here and there. I hope you've had a good day. Yeah, a bit of GT4 action. Now these are good fun. These are very, very good fun. So we've got a GT4 League sign up open as well at the moment. Starts in a good few weeks' time. Yeah, 33 degrees here tomorrow as well. I don't know, maybe we live closer than Southeast England. Yeah, that's 33 here tomorrow as well. So, yeah, that's going to be... You know, I am not built to deal with that. But hey, I've got no choice. Just going to have to get through it and drink a lot of cold water. But it'll be good. Oh, -1. Where do you live? I'm not sure I'd take... I don't really want -1, but somewhere in the middle. Be nice. It's 27 today, I think. Here, 27, 26, 27. Hot enough, I call that. Especially with the PC on and everything. You just end up sweltering. Taking a bit of more curb than he was probably aiming for, as Aidan. He's just come around to the final couple of corners. South Brazil. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I did forget where you lived. Yeah, that's only nice. You'd think that would be hotter than it is here. Evidently not. The UK does have these moments now and again where it goes into a blind panic and gets really hot and then cools down again. I think the day after it cools down by like 8 or 9 degrees, maybe more. So Aiden, I think he's coming across to start a proper hot lap now. Daniel O'Brien in with the first fast time, 2:14.667. Let's see what Kieran Sharp is. He's just crossed the line as well, so he'll be onto a hot lap now. So probably a few invalidated laps in so far. Harry Webb early on as well. It's interesting. So Joe LaCour into second. He was into second, now down to third. Jonas Wenzel. Or Jonas Wenzel. I've got to try and get his name right. I live near Chester. Okay, not that near me then. I'm not far from London. I live in Hertfordshire. And yeah, quite warm down here most of the time. But yeah, cooking tomorrow. Absolutely cooking. Yeah, Jonas Wenzel, 2:14.472. That mean AMG. Let's see what Harry Webb can do in that Camaro. Big old mean-faced motor that it is. So still, what was that? So we've still got 11 drivers to set a time. 10 now, so we are slowly coming in now. Dean Thompson into third, that's a good time as well. The 2:15.204, he's into the pits, so he'll. Yeah, it does. I know what you mean. It's not quite. I mean, to be fair, have we got anybody in the KTM this evening? We haven't. Yeah, that's gone with its whole unique, its own look. Yeah. Sort of, we'll draw a normal looking car and then we'll scrap that and do something completely different, which is good though. It's nice to have a bit of variety as well. So surprised we don't see more in the Ginetta. Just Aidan Browen and Kieran Sharp tonight. Just waiting for more times to come in. So those top 4 or 5 not changed. Lee Cushing up in 5th now. 2:15.399 for him. See Harry Webb come around the last couple of corners. Let's see what he does. So hasn't tried to do too much with his car. Nice and simple white livery. What was your name in the Discord? What did you drive in? Sorry, there's just so many people at this point. It's easy to lose track of names. Well, I think we've got 1,500 people in the Discord. Always growing, so it gets a bit tough to track. So Harry Webb now into second. Aiden did stretch. That leads at the top. Look at that, 2:12.534. So that's a cracking time. And from him, we've got Janosch in the AMG. He's onto another lap. Joe LaCour is in the Camaro as well. So we've got 3 of them in this evening. Stottmeyer sets a time there. I'm sure I know who you are, Lortel, but yeah, do remind me. So Joe LaCour in 4th, 2.1 seconds at the moment back. So that Ginetta clearly not bad round here at all. Where's Kieran Sharp in the Ginetta? He's coming around towards the end of a lap, so you'd imagine it's going to be pretty competitive. I don't remember most. Well, I guess you didn't have that name in Discord, did you, Lortel? Oh, you don't remember your name. Dear oh dear. Okay, yeah, so there must be some lap invalidations going on. Kieran Sharp still not got a time on the board. Neither has Connor Garrett or Ivan Svalina. Still need to set times. So he'll have one go here. So we might have to set a bit of a banker lap, really. Daniel O'Brien is on an improvement at the moment. Might pop him up into 4th. I could guess. I remember a couple of Brazilian Colada. Ah, okay. Yeah. No, it's... Yeah, legs racing a lot as well. It gets very confusing. A lot of people could have raced against him. Oh, Robert Lovelace hops in late, but he gets in nonetheless. Just going to have to start from the back because he will definitely not be getting any lap time. So what will Daniel O'Brien do? So he's going to come over the line now. He'll have one more go. He'll have another lap. He does improve, I think, here. Yeah, by a few tenths. Not quite enough to jump Janosch for 3rd, though. So Ventil stays in 3rd spot. So we're just waiting for a few at the bottom. So Rob won't get a time in. Connor Garrett, let's go on board with him, see where he is. So just come around the final corner. Hopefully, for his sake, he's going to be setting a valid time here. Yellow flag somewhere on circuit. Oh, is that car there? About to hop into the pits. Conor Garrett pops it up into 9th, so gets a valid time in. Kieran Sharp's going to have to get a valid lap in as well. Try and go for a bit of a banker lap, or he's going to have to do a bit of a last to first challenge. Even you can't remember. I was going to say, I do remember quite a bit. What do you... a few Brazilian drivers, so yeah, it's tough to remember. So at this point, OTL's been around for nearly 3 years, so you do your best to keep track of names and everything, but it disappears very quick. Very, very quick. So Kieran Sharp last couple of corners. Comes down towards the line. What time is he going to set? So hopefully he'll be pushing up a bit further higher up than the 16th he's in at the moment. Oh, up into 3rd. So that's really handy that, to be honest. Only a couple of tenths behind Harry Webb. Harry Webb's still out on track, as is Daniel O'Brien. No, talking of which, he is done. Stottermeyer. Oh, was out on track. Now not on track, unfortunately. So he's using all of the gravel and some. Robert Lovelace is in with us this evening. He's just having a bit of a drive around because he will not be getting around to start a lap. So he's in the Porsche this evening. Lovely thing. Just don't hit anyone with it, you'll blow anyone out. I know it's a tank, but you know, don't take that use too literally. So you're on the Camaro there, as I see there. Yeah, it's a beastly looking thing. It's Joe LaCour in 6th and Harry Webb currently in 2nd, but I do not think he's up on his time. He's going to have to really push around this last sector and not invalidate his lap. And I mean, frankly, he'd have to have a miracle couple of last corners, and that he has not done. So I think that is him. Effectively, and I think we will be seeing him. Yeah, he's going to come around the final 10, but he will not be improving. So he'll start in 2nd. Got 18 drivers. Check out your livery. Shall we do that, everybody? Let's have a look. Oh, I can't. Ooh. That's what, the black and red one in the middle. Yeah, I can't really see much, can we? Oh well, we get the idea. Oh well, we tried. So, there we go. Let's have to go back to garage. So oh look at that, all 3 fastest sectors all belonging to Aidan Bro. That's some cracking time, 2:12.534. No one else even able to live with that. It's like a police car with racing gear. It's beefy, isn't it? There's got a lot of muscle to it. 4 laps compared to Harry Webb's 5. As you can see, he's losing. Well, it's most of the time it's those first 2 sectors, isn't it? And especially where there are longer sectors after all. But 2nd clear, so that's great from Aidan Bro. Kieran Sharp did get up into 3rd towards the end in that Ginetta, so they are 1 and 3, the only 2 Ginettas on the circuit. Harry Webb splitting those into 2nd. Janos Fenzel in 4th. We've got O'Brien in 5th in that BMW. See how he fares this evening. Just in front of Joe LaCour. Those 2 always battling out very close on track. David Martin just behind as well. In 7th, Lee Cushion in 8th. Dean Thompson, nearly forgot his name there, which is bad because his friend in real life. Dean Thompson in 9th, and then Conor Garrett in 10th. So let's go out onto track. There we go. So short formation that for these evenings. Just 1.5 minutes left to go, so slightly shorter readying up time before the race gets going. So who do we think is going to win this? I mean, that lap time from Aidan, it's going to be very, very hard to compete with if he can do that in the race consistently. Kieran Sharp's going to have a great start and try and keep on his rear. Try not to let him get away into the distance. If he disappears, then yeah, that's going to be hard to do anything about. He'll just launch it off into the sunset. He doesn't want to get into fighting too much behind him. So I'll have to try and take it to Aidan early on here. Obviously not being too aggressive, but they are going to have to try and mix it with him early. And that Camaro in 2nd, so we've got one in 6th as well. Interesting to see how they fare. And then the AMG. Got a couple of them. No, 3, sorry, this evening. Svelina in 17th. Andrew Pike in 13th. Didn't get into qualifying until a little bit later than he was wanted, though, due to the connection issues. And Wenzel in 4th. Another good showing from him. So just 10 seconds to go now. And then we will be off and away. So we'll see everybody on grid, all 18 cars. Robert Lovelace at the back in the Porsche, next to Ivan Svelina. And here we are. They should all be ready to go. Harry Webb is in the pit. So what's happened there? Someone hasn't clicked ready up, I believe. So someone is starting from the pits. I think someone made a boo-boo there by not clicking drive quickly enough. So that's a bad start to his first race of the evening. Kieran Sharp getting all intimate there with Aiden. So yeah, is Harry in the pits? Yes, he's going to have to start from the pits once they all come round past the pit exit, I believe. Haven't seen that much really. It might be the first time we've seen that here, actually, I think. Someone actually hasn't clicked ready up, so that's going to give a very empty second row for Kieran Sharp. No, sorry, it's not, is it? It's going to give an empty first row. Yes, he was second. So Aidan Brower's going to have all the track to himself on the front row. And he's just going to come down to the line, trying not to be... He's got to be a bit careful on the speed there. Does not want to get a drive through early. That'll annoy the bejesus out of him. Long run down to the line here. Everyone just running the set speed that they'll be told to with the widget, and they are off. So Aiden, let's go back to Helicam and see a bit of picture from higher up. So he'll be nice and ahead into turn number 1. Kieran Sharp alongside Wenzel. Wenzel in second. Kieran Sharp going for the inside. A little bit of door banging there. Janos gets tipped out a little bit wide, but he's all good. He should be able to come back into the next left hand. He'll go on the inside. And let's see how they can handle it. Let's get back into the TV cameras. There we go. So hopefully everyone is through fairly cleanly. Let's see where's Robert Lovelace. Is he out on track? I think he is. He's all good. Yep, there he is. He's with us. Let's see where Harry Webb is. So Harry Webb is, yeah, he's out on track, but yeah, he's going to have to be further back, having to start from the pit. So a bit of a balls up on his part there, I think. Not clicking drive, just been caught short. Caught with his pants down a little bit. So that'll be a bummer for him. So Aiden leads by just over half a second. Kieran Sharp in second. Janos Wenzel. Oh, getting sideways there. Oh, and there's been a bit of a chain reaction. So they needed to just slow down the cars behind. You think if they saw a yellow flag at the incident, they'd start to slow down, but evidently not. So that's I think that's Dean Thompson, Janos Wenzel, and is that... No, it's not O'Brien. He's getting out of the way, so I think he feels guilty there, like he might have tapped the car around. No, he's in the pits either way. So Kieran Sharp still in second, Janos Wenzel in third, Joe LaCour holding on to fourth. Where's David Martin? He's in sixth. There's going to be a bit of a gap now. Oh, car going on to the grass. How did they rescue that? Hopefully they did. No, there's cars off in the background. Not particularly impressing here with some of the standards of driving. Who's that? Stottermeyer has gone round, so not quite sure what happened to him if it was that off that we saw. Sitting there though patiently, not getting too much in the way. So end of lap number 1. These two very much into the distance now after the, what should we call it, shenanigans of lap number 1. It's a bit of a shame. Should be a bit easier than that to not have that sort of carnage going on. So even though it is a casual night, we will have a look afterwards because we're not going to put up with any stupid stuff going on. There's too much work and effort goes into putting everything on. And yeah, it's not fair on the drivers to see that kind of thing happening. Not quite sure what happened though. Says don't want to judge pass judgment too early. I'm sure we'll see later on. Yeah, it's a little bit of carnage. Yeah, I saw 2 separate crashes going on. Yeah, didn't quite catch the start of it. Very much caught the cars behind not slowing down enough and then just piling into each other. I think they'd know to use the middle pedal, but clearly not. But yeah, we'll have to see afterwards, I'm sure. Can't wait to find out what happened later. Just try and remember to save the replay afterwards. But yeah, the two Janettas, Bro and Sharp, disappearing off into the distance a little bit. You see they are, what, nearly just over 7.2 seconds clear of David Martin in third. These two could probably try and fight for most of this race. Kieran Sharp, so doing well, keeping tabs on him. So not letting him get away too much. Yeah, I wasn't sure. It's like I didn't know if there were people behind. I mean, I'm sure you see it. There are plenty of that where you just have people. You have people who hear the yellow flag. They can see yellow flags and they hear yellow flag, and like crew chief, and they keep doing the corner until they are nearly touching the car. It's like, ooh, wallop. Yeah, so that's what it looked like, but obviously not. I'll take your knowledge on that one. So these two fighting still nice and closely though. So end of lap number 2 is a long old lap is Suzuka in a GT4. Obviously the full layout. Kieran Sharp not letting him get away. He can go inside as all he wants, but he is going to follow him for that slipstream. And using it very well as well, getting very close. So just under 2/10 by the time they hit the brakes. Excuses. No, it did look a bit of a mess, unfortunately. It was a bit of a bummer. But it's one of the weird ones. I mean, to be fair, it did look like the way the like a tap round or something happened. You ended up with the car sort of spanning in the middle of the track, and at that point you're like, what do we do? In real life, I seem to deal with it a bit better than sim racers do. That's not a surprise, let's be honest. So let's get a bit further back just quickly. So David Martin's still in third. He's got a decent cushion back to Lee Cushing. That wasn't a pun, by the way. Cushing in fourth. Conor Garrett just behind in fifth. Got Andrew Pike in sixth, trying to follow him very, very closely. In the AMG. So using a slightly different car this week. We've got the Batch and Martin Legg in 7th and 8th. We've got Rob Lovelace doing fairly well after what happened earlier on. Took advantage up to 9th. Janos behind him in 10th. Got caught up. A lot of these drivers back here got caught up in that early part of the race. Be careful on the run-off there. Don't want to get too sideways. These two though still fighting. Kieran Sharp still trying to look for a way past. So you can see as soon as you can engage them in race pace, it's nothing like. Oh, and he uses all of the track and more there, so he'll have to come back on one. They'll slot in, and Kieran Sharp goes up into Lisa. Just went wide there, just getting pushed and putting the pressure on, so he'll have to now try and fight back. So coming down the long back stretch into the classic 130 yards. Got to be very careful on that curb and on the right hand side, then down into this funny little chicane. Always a corner I've never been able to particularly work out. Always made a mess of that, but they are much more skilled than I am. That's why they're there and I am here. So end of lap number 2. No, sorry, that'll be lap number 3. Apologies. And yeah, less than half a second between them still, so still very, very close. Back to the car slightly further back again. So we've got Lee Cushing just trying to close that gap at the moment on David Martin. Conor Garrett and Pike just in behind. You can see here the Batch not far behind those. Martin Legg, going to be a little bit of a gap from him back to the next car of Jonas Wenzel. Saying his name in about 19 different ways at the moment. Ah, yeah, that's not great. Never understood why that happens in any game, to be honest. Is that have a and then the wheel? Well, unless that's the damage add, in which case, then totally understandable. But yeah, a bit of a bummer. Rather it happen here than in the leagues, but I'd rather it not happen at all. Suzuka is a weird one. You do see that a lot more though. You see a car lose it. Okay, fair enough. You see a car lose it in the wrong place, and it's just stuck, and it's like, what do they do? Sometimes there isn't much they can do. Well, Robert Lovelace, so I'm not sure what's happened to him. He's in the pit, so whether he has binned it at some point. I think it might be a personal accident. Not sure when. I won't click the replay because that could go back as far as it likes, and I have no idea how far back that happened. So Harry Webb still trying to fight his way back through. He's got Dean Thompson and Svalina just in front of him. Let's go back on with the front two though. So Kieran Sharp getting away a little bit now. Aiden's got a push. Got 11.5 minutes to go. So Kieran Sharp has got away just a tad. Maybe a couple of mistakes creeping in, but we know how quick Aiden is, so he's just got to latch back on. Hope Sharp makes a couple of errors here and there. We're coming down to 130R again for the 4th time. Got a touch of that curb. Do want to be careful then, not to destabilise the car too much. But they seem to be doing okay so far. Who am I to tell them how to do that? Just trying to take as much of those curves as possible, trying to attack and shorten the line round. But Kieran Sharp driving superbly, as we know how quick Sharp is. He's doing pretty well. Was latched onto the back of Aiden for a very, very long time. He's taken advantage of that little bit of clean air. Now nearly 1.2 seconds clear. So next couple of laps will be vital for Aiden now. We've got to not allow Sharp to build that gap up to 1.3, 1.4 seconds. If we see that in the next couple of laps, then we'll know Kieran's definitely got the speed. Let's have a quick look. Stop my yeah, it's still on circuit, so it's only 143 seconds behind. So I'm not sure if that's because it said it thinks he's cut a corner or something. Does happen on occasional moments. Oh, fancy camera, nicely done. Yeah, that gap looks like it's gotten a little bit bigger here, or a little bit of a wiggle there. So it's not. Neither of them are completely immune from making a mistake. Coming off a curb a bit too eagerly. We're making errors, but you can see he's just using the side of that car nicely. 1.5 seconds. He's a great half a lap there. He's pulled out by a few tenths. And now that's going to force Aiden to push even harder, and then that's when we will see more mistakes. So Kieran Sharp very much in the box seat here. Does not need to do anything silly. Just needs to try and keep his pace sensible, but then he doesn't want to allow Aiden to push and close that gap. Let's go back to those cars behind as well. David Martin in 3rd in that Vantage. So I'm getting a few decent results recently, pushing up through the pack. Lee Cushing 1.3, nearly 1.4 seconds behind him. Another Aston. Conor Garrett in the McLaren. So Andrew Pike still in close quarters though, not really too much of a difference to earlier, maybe a little bit more of a gap, but no, Pike is not being dropped there at all, still in, still close enough that maybe he thinks he can make an attack on Garrett if he has a good lap or two, or if Garrett makes any mistakes. And DeBatch as well closing in on them too, so he's clearly getting quicker and quicker. We know he's a bit newer to ACC than many of the drivers here. But he's putting that track time in, and yeah, it's improving him tenfold. So it'll be interesting to see if he can push forward, and maybe start fighting with Andrew Pike. And that lead at the front now up to 1.7 seconds for Sharp. They start this next lap. Let's go on board with Martin Legg. So he is very, very close to the back of Jonas Fenzel. As I said, got caught up in the incident earlier on. So getting that Camaro all very nicely lined up at the moment. The Camaro's in 9th, 10th and 11th. All very close to each other. I think the Core and Webb maybe would have been slightly higher up had they not got caught up earlier, or indeed in Webb's case, obviously at the start from the pits, and probably didn't click drive in time. I'd imagine that's why he's ended up here. Bit of a bummer again that happened to him, but it's a shame, but there we go. So 7.5 minutes to go now. Let's go back on board with those guys at the front. So Aidan Bro has just closed that gap a little bit. So 1.249 was the gap at the last timing line. So 10 seconds clear of David Martin in 3rd, so they don't need to worry about that too much. It'll just be between the two of them. So coming around to end another lap, just under 7 minutes to go now. Yeah, some great driving. You can see Sharp very, very strong through the end of the lap. So it was 1.9 seconds at the last timing line. That's just, it was around the same, 1.856. So still driving very, very well. So that fighting earlier on hasn't affected him too much. I think he'll be pretty happy with how things are going so far. Let's go back to Andrew Pike. So it looks like he's trying to just close that gap up to Conor Garrett now. So just got closer and closer. Nice and clean as well. Garrett making a few mistakes, going wide. Out of the right-hander. Now Pike's right on the back of him. So gap not much at all. So just being patient on the throttle, not going too hard. That's what I think the mistake some are making, just not being patient enough, not waiting for that car to grip up, and then yeah, off you can go. You can see there, putting their foot down as soon as they get the opportunity, not being greedy. Yes, under half a second now between Pike and Garrett. McLaren and the AMG. Great thing about the GT4 is you do get such different styles of driving between different cars in the same class, which is awesome. Or Pike may be looking down the inside, I think so. Does he hit the apex? I think he does. So where's Conor then? Has he stayed around the outside as he's gone alongside? Now he slots in behind, so Pike has got past up in 2.6. Car goes wide in the background. Not sure if that was just a car being lapped getting out of the way. But Garrett now is going to look for a chance to get past as soon as possible. I don't think he'll have a chance to get alongside yet though. So again, he'll just have to slot in behind himself. And that McLaren, as good as it looks, now has that Aston Martin ahead, and yeah, he'll have to just keep tabs on the car in front, try and not let it get away. Like I said earlier when we were watching Aiden and Kieran Sharp, do need to be careful. A little bit of fight going back further on. So that is Martin Legg, I believe. Is that Martin Legg? No, Jonas Venzel getting past. Sorry, Jonas Venzel getting past at the batch. Coming down towards the end of the lap, we have Joe LaCour. I think that is Harry Webb's got past. So Harry Webb's up ahead of him now. So Harry Webb in 9th, Joe LaCour in 10th, Martin Legg a bit further back. Is that Martin Legg? No, that is Martin Legg in 11th. So those Camaros still nicely forming an orderly queue, trying to help each other out here, tow each other around the track. The car doesn't look quite as out of place when it's surrounded by other Camaros. So what is the distance? How long is that distance between the two Gianettas up top? So that is definitely more than 1.2 seconds. 1.4. It felt like more than that. But yeah, Aiden's going to be pushing now. Kim Sharp getting a little bit loose. So I think we might have lost a couple of tenths there. Nothing too much. Aiden's trying to use as much of that track as possible. Give himself as much turning angle as possible so that he doesn't need to lift. Now he's pushing very hard here because he's just trying to shorten as many lines as he can. Kieran Sharp just trying to keep it smooth. Try and keep it simple, not do anything stupid. So both have driven a good race so far. Very nice and patient. Out of the spoon curve, down back stretch again. And on the run down to 130R. Not quite as difficult in a GT4 you would think, but less downforce, so it's not like you can keep it pinned. A little bit of a lift off there, both using a little bit of the run off there, that the outer curb, green outer curb. So trying to use as much of the track as they can without being punished by the game. So will we have one more lap after this? That's going to be very close. I don't think we will. I think this is the final lap they've just started. 2.11s, 2.12s are set in, so that was very close to crossing the line on 2.11, 2.12 kind of time. So just one more lap to go, and I think, I think Kieran Sharp has had a poor first corner there. Yeah, it's down to under a second now. Kieran Sharp's going to have to be careful here. Aiden is going to push. You see they're going very wide there on that left-hander, and yeah, that has put him all under all sorts of pressure. So not quite sure what's gone on there. Unless he's just fancied a bit of a fight and slowed down a bit. I don't know. But yeah, that pace he's had has suddenly sort of evaporated here, and Aiden Bro is all over the back of him. So Kieran's now going to have to get defensive if Aiden gets much closer. Yes, Kieran is struggling with tyre wear or something similar, in which case he might just have to nurse it home. So, as I said, this should, I believe, be the final lap. Oh, Kieran Sharp going very wide again. So struggling a little bit here, it would seem. Do want to go to some other fights happening on track, but can't really move away from this one at the moment. We'd like to go back to the fight between Debach and Leg and Joe LaCour and Harry Webb. These two so close. Kieran Sharp doing a great job though of keeping him behind. So just a couple more corners to go now. Coming down into 130R yet again. Kieran Sharp still holding on to that lead position. Just needs to not make any silly mistakes through the final chicane. Gets the apex nicely there. Aiden will do his best he can to get a great drive out of that final corner. Now let's see, he does. I think this is definitely going to be the last lap. So yeah, that's a great drive from Kieran Sharp. Well done to both of them. It was a good fight between the two of them. But that is a fully deserved win there from Kieran Sharp, just ahead of Aiden Bro. Well done to the two of you. Good fighting. And David Martin just holds off Lee Cushion there. Some good racing from these two. Martin getting a podium. So that's a good finish from him. Lee Cushion back in 4th. So two Aston Martins just behind the two Ginettas. And then the AMG of Andrew Pike does finish ahead of Conor Gowley. Just keeps Jonas Wenzel behind him. Harry Webb will lead home those Camaros in 8th. Joe LaCour in 9th. Debach just about gets ahead of Martin Legg in the end, back in 11th. He's got Dean Thompson just behind him. Ivan Svalina in the AMG coming round the final corner. He'll come home in 13th. Franco Susange in 14th. We have Sebastian Busch. Come around the final corner here in 15th position. Stottlemyre, I think we saw come over the line as well, has been lapped, so he is finished. And then we have Robert Lovelace. He's still out on track, so wasn't the pits for a bunch of time, but has opted out back on circuit, probably got the car repaired. And he will bring it round, hopefully, in one piece for our final finisher. So yeah, didn't get to qualify, so hopefully qualifying for race number 2 will give him a bit more of a chance. And there we go, comes over the line. So, obviously the flares going off in the stands. That's a good racing from all of them. So you can see there, just under 8 tenths, so just over 7 tenths, sorry, between Sharp and Bro at the end. So it did get very close. That gap was going up and down all race. David Martin, just under a second. It was only 0.6 between himself and Lee Cushion, so quite close in the end. Some good battles in the midfield as well, and obviously that incident we saw earlier on, so there was a bit of a kerfuffle earlier on in the race. Indeed. Oh, he's got a bit of an issue, has he? Poor old Rob. He's got tech problems. So there we go. So they should be hopping out, and then they will be restarting the server, I'd imagine, and then we'll get back in for race number 2. So, so warm. Have I mentioned it's warm?
Green light, go, go, go.
Yeah, just a bit on the warm side. It's also, I think, Flying Ant Day, from what I can gather. I mean, it's weird if it's not, because I went outside earlier and they were everywhere. Whether that's even a real thing, I don't know. But it felt like it. It definitely felt like it. I'm pretty sure it was. So I can't wait for them to sod off tomorrow. But yeah, lovely weather today. 33 degrees tomorrow. Lovely for some people. weird people. So there we go. So we should be just about hopping out. So yeah, I'll quit out and we'll get into the lobby for race number 2. So again, same format, but this time at, I believe it is at Catalonia. See our server up there for the GT3 leagues. Round number 2 this Sunday. You can see the Spa practice lobby is always up. So that's some good stuff. We'll have the same for the GT4 league as well. No servers found. Let's try again. There it is. We can hop straight in. Lovely stuff. So good, big fan of Catalunya. So I'm looking forward to this. Interesting to see how this feels. Oh, that is a nice view of my legs card. Don't quite know why it's defaulted to that. Can I change? Nope. So I've got to start the tool up again. 2 seconds. So there we go. So 10 of them already in. They'll just all be hopping out, getting themselves sorted. Hopefully Harry Webb can work out and press drive this time. Come on, Harry. Schoolboy stuff. No, easily done. You're not the first person to do it. And you won't be the last. Yeah. We can do, yeah. If I did this and did that, feels like I'm playing, doesn't it? When you're going to the gravel, it's very convincing. Come on, leg, we were on board for that. You probably knew that. I mean, you probably got the stream still up, but yeah. Quite a lovely looking thing that is. That Porsche looks very pretty. So yeah, choosing a different car this race, having a bit of a try of something else. Do I notice anyone else that's changed car? I do not think the Debach and the Porsche. Not sure who's in previous race. Nice splash of sky blue. Caster POV. Yeah, now this is good. These are the tools you get for streaming ACC are very good. So you get a lot of options. But yeah, lovely looking, very back livery that. Debach normally runs with some kind of that kind of shade of blue on a car when he can. See Martin Leg out on track. Dean Thompson, crikey, that is a far camera shot. Lovely looking Aston. Funky colour scheme. I kind of like it. A bit different. Harry Webb changed cars. He's now in the Porsche. Interesting colour scheme, but yeah, it's alright. That won't affect how quick it is, despite what we might say. I always think yellow cars are just faster. Maybe because I am one and we drive like lunatics, but. So just a little bit of free practice and then we'll get into qualifying. Oh, interesting. Just for anybody in the motorsport stuff who's watching this. I'm just reading that Sergio Perez has tested positive for COVID, or coronavirus. So he is going to be missing this weekend's Grand Prix. And probably the one after that, I'd imagine. Did have some minor, I believe had minor symptoms. So yeah, he is. Oh, what was it say? Let's say that again. I believe it was inconclusive, so they're not sure. So he's going to have to test him again, and he's now isolating. So yeah, getting retested. We'll have to see. Hopefully he's all good. And yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, but he won't be racing this weekend either way. Always going to happen with everything that's going on. it'll be interesting to see who they get into his seat to take his place. Custom liveries, yeah, you can make a lot of these. Yeah, most of these liveries aren't. No real team in the world have some of these garish liveries. No offence, Harry. No offence. No, you do. You can pick the material and you can pick the colour and some patterns and bits and bobs like that. I think Loretto, it's purely that they're like, well, rather than waiting to see, because what practice is tomorrow. Yeah, okay, that's no worries. Sharp. Yeah, you've got 1 win out of 1. End on at 100%. Now, to be honest, I'm struggling quite badly here. I can't see me. I genuinely don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow night. There's no on earth, because it's 27 degrees at the moment. It's going to be 6 degrees hotter tomorrow, and my room is really hot. I do have a fan, but I have to turn it off when I'm streaming or point it away from me because, yeah, because of the microphone. So, yeah, you can imagine what that feels like here at the moment. Doesn't do a thing. But no worries, dude. But yes, Sergio Perez not racing this weekend. But I don't know, inconclusive at the moment. So it might be, he had a few weird symptoms like dizziness, I think, last weekend. But it might just be, that might be something else, or just, you know, you sweat a lot when you're a Formula 1 driver and all that jazz. Clearly he's had a test and it's come back as like, not sure. And if it's not a definite no, then you pull him, unfortunately. As I said, first practice is tomorrow, I believe. So, yeah, I think it's just I can't remember what race it was going to, 2-day weekend. I think it was Monza. Oh, let's hope it's not changed their mind here. Let's see whether... Well, if it's 34, I'm going to have kittens. Nope, still just 33. Ugh. Yeah, so if the F3s do go ahead, depends how many drivers are going to suffer because of that. I can't see me streaming it, unfortunately, just not physically going to be able to do that. Yeah, it's about 27 I think it got to here, so it's been a bit warmer down where you are. 23 at the moment, 22, 23 here at the moment. It's quite warm for, what is it, nearly 9 PM. Too warm. It's more the humidity, isn't it? It's just not necessarily the heat, but hey ho, not much I can do about it really, but at least it's not a long old heat wave. I'm pretty sure that my room is 40 odd. Oh, easily, yeah. I'm quite fortunate I didn't put my PC on until about 10 minutes before, but for that reason. I can't, if I turn it, it heats up the room so quick. As you know. We all know what PCs are like. Warm is the answer. Very warm. Just a big radiator. Let's have a quick check on mine. So, yeah. Graphics card's running pretty hot, but nothing mad at the moment, but... Yeah. Hello, Mr. Nath. Hello, hello. How you doing, dude? Hope you are well. Oh, so, yeah, 2 drivers not with us in this second race. Can't quite work out the other driver, so there's no Sharp and there's no... Nope. Yeah, not too bad. Hot, in case you hadn't guessed, with the whinging we'd done. No Frank. Right, cool. I'd worked that out just as you said that. I was like, oh, it's Frank. Never mind. Fair enough. Hopefully did a right first race. So just 5 minutes left of quali. Just so they want, just in case they weren't feeling hot enough, they can race in the Spanish track. 24 degrees track temperature though, so as you can see, it's only 10 AM in the morning there. Not too bad. Fast track conditions, nice and sunny, no wind. See in the top right there of your screen. Let's go on board with, let's swap to, so Harry Webb's currently out on top. Aidan Bro's not set a representative lap at the moment. Let's go on board with him actually. So 54.771 is the time to beat. So I do quite like this camera angle, not the most realistic. Probably go for a bit of this. I just imagine a good, big old GoPro mounted to his bonnet. Getting it slowed down nicely. Coming into the stadium section. So look, it's an interesting track. This divides a lot of people. Some hate it, some really like it. I quite like it personally. Doesn't mean I'm really good at it, but I like it. It's a difficult last sector. A lot of people don't like. I think this was quite a recent addition. I think this was 2007 maybe. I think it was the chicane added in for 2007, didn't they? And they stopped using the. It just used to be one big. It was just a right-hander rather than slower down to the chicane. So no, still needs to set a hot lap. He's clearly invalidating at the moment, which is not good for him. So he'll call up in second. He'll be pretty content with that. Cornwall Racing Team, half a second back at the moment. Harry Webb still up at the top of the leaderboard. Andrew Pike in third. Somewhere off, we've got a lot of drivers still trying to sell a time. Daniel O'Brien currently back in fifth. So that Porsche, yeah, looking good around here at the moment. Evening, Frank. Hello, hello. Evening, Chaos. Yeah, not too bad. Not doing too bad. Thank you, sir. Did I mention I was warped? Yeah, I'm not going to keep saying that every time someone new joins. Quite hot. But yeah, not too bad, not too bad. As soon as this finishes, I'm going downstairs. I'm getting a nice cold drink. I'm chucking some ice in it to keep it cold. And off it Daniel goes. I think he might have known he was on stream there. Decided to finish his lap and thought, why not do it like this? Ah, good man, good. So he's into the pits. Let's go back on board with it. Oh, Janos goes into second, just ahead of Joe LaCour. Conor Garrett out on track. Do quite like a good red livery actually. Not that kind of dark red. Very nice. Very much floats my boat. He's on board with Aiden now. Needs to set a lap time. He's not going to have many more opportunities. Let's see how he fares on this lap though. So I think at the moment he's on to match the time of Harry Webb at the front. His previous invalidated lap was a 55.8 to a 55.863 to the 55.4 of Harry Webb, and he's a couple of tenths up, so I don't think he's going to quite get up to the top step now, but he's going to be close. Where does he go? Or is that not a valid lap again? Oh, he's got to be careful. He's got one more go, so somewhere around along those lines that game is saying sorry and taking that time off of him. Ah, a bit of wreckfest. Oh, that's fun. How do you mean, Laurentel? What do you mean in real life, you mean? Or... Ah, but the stock cars really awesome, but it's nothing from the results. Oh, they're good. I'm enjoying on AMS2. Those are great fun. I'm looking forward to that. It's just getting better and better. AMS2. Flipping superb cars to drive. But yeah, it's unfortunate. We're lucky in Europe. We get to see quite a lot of cars. But a different series, like you said, like the Brazilian stock cars do. That's pretty awesome that they race over there, and it's good that they spread with AMS2 to a different audience as well. So Loveless in the pit, so he's not set at a valid time again, so he's going to be starting from the back. It's like he likes starting back there or something. Come on, Rob, what are you on? What's happening? Pike and Cushing all sit in the same time, so they're very close. So come around left and right. So it's a windy circuit in the right places. You do have to just be a bit patient around here. I quite like Catalonia myself. Works for certain cars more than others, of course. Don't feel it really works for F1. So just coming down into the final couple of turns. Do like the helicam around here. I won't pop to that now though. Ah, bummer. Oh, I hope he sorts them out. I was guessing it might be the same issues you mentioned earlier. That's pants. Yeah, good luck with that. That's if either of you are racing that, it should be good fun. That. So Joe LaCour up to second. Still 4 tenths off of Harry's time. Aiden, and he does get a time in. And how far was he off? So he was 3 thousandths ahead of Joe LaCour's time. So he just about makes it. And that was his last lap as well. So came in when it mattered. Joe LaCour. Not got far to go himself now. Janos Fenzel in 4th. Let's come around the final couple of corners. Let's stay on the board with him. Use a little bit of that curb in. And that's what time he sets. Oh, and look at that. That's a great time. So just over 1.5 tenths behind Harry Webb. So he pops it up to second, ahead a couple of tenths, and a bit more than that ahead of Aidan Brow in second. Aidan Brow. Sorry, let's not call him Brow. He did tell me how to say his name. Let's get that right. Joe LaCour in fourth. So nearly everybody in the pits now. Just Svalin, the batch, Daniel O'Brien and LaCour, who we are on track with. But that was that. You're not going that wide and improving on your time, or even keeping it valid. God, that sounds a bit evil. A Peugeot with 500 brake horsepower. Oh, the thing would explode. Right, Brian getting his foot down. He's a few tenths up, so we could improve by possibly 2 positions, maybe 3, if he can nail these last couple of turns. Use as much of that runoff as possible. Could probably be a bit even more greedy than that. Let's see, does he improve? I think he might. I didn't improve, so yeah, he's up into 9th now. So not a bad spot from him. But yeah, difficult. You can see those cars up front. It's just very difficult to live with them at the moment. So Harry Webb takes pole, just ahead of Janos Schwenzel and Aidan Brow in third, just ahead of Joe LaCour as well. So those top 4 are quite a distance away from everybody else. I think quite a few of them struggling to get a few times in. Yes, that is Aid the Ace. That is Mr. Aidan Brow in third. Had a good fight in first race. Yes, Harry, if someone could remind Harry Webb to press the drive button, that would be great. If someone could be so kind. Well remembered though, Loretta. So there we go. So, they'll ready up very shortly. And then hop onto the grid. They'll hop onto the grid for race number 2. 20 minutes again, round Catalunya. Hopefully a bit cleaner than we saw the early stages of race number 1. So sometimes just innocent mistakes and happening like that. But we just want everyone to have a clean race and have a good go at it. So just Stottlemyre, it looks like yeah, Harry Webber's I think it's hit ready up very quickly there. Stottlemyre in the pits. So he's got 1 minute 40. Don't know why he's still there. Maybe he needs to hit drive still and everyone else already has. Let's see. Daniel O'Brien should be next to him. On the 5th row. Just waiting for everybody. Oh no, he's done. Stottlemyre's out of here. I know he's having problems as well. But he's not here, so Daniel O'Brien will be lonely on that row of the grid. 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. But I think everybody's here. Harry Webb very much learned from his mistakes. Right towards the front though, so we're doing well in that Porsche, better than he did in the Camaro. Yep, that is Loretta. Andrew Pike, that is Mr. Fish. I'm assuming you can work out now why he's called Mr. Fish from that surname. It's not pleasing, wasn't it? It's like, oh, there's a reason why he called himself that. Very good. Yeah. So yeah, he's doing well. Doing very, very well. Evening, JP. Hello, fine sir. How are you doing, bud? I'm not too bad myself. Thanks very much. All things considered, I cannot complain. It doesn't stop me, but you know. Yeah, I'm not too bad, man. Good to see you. So, race number 2. We're getting underway very shortly. You can see a short run up to the start of the race as well. Short formation lap. You know, a full formation lap in the GT4s would take forever and a day. So just come around those final couple of corners of right-hander and then the chicane, if you will. And then the last turn. And then they are off and away to the line. So there we go. So Harry Webb starting on pole. Remember to press drive this time. So all good. So the guys further back need to get a bit of a move on. I mean, they've got plenty of time once they get to the straight, I'm sure, before the line. But still, they don't want to get caught short when the game suddenly tells them to hit the certain speed limit, and then they can't close that gap up. That's when you see it often. You see drive-throughs going out because the car thinks, oh, I'm too far back from the car in front, and it tries to push forward too much and ignores the fact that the game is telling it to do a set speed. So a bit of confusion going on at the back there. Hopefully everyone will sort out and be in the right place for what the widget is telling them.
Green light,
And there we go. They cross the line and it is green flag. Harry Webb in first. Jonas Fentel though on the inside. So now that is Harry Webb on the inside, Jonas Wenzel on the outside in the AMG. Got Joe LaCour right behind him. Coming into turn number 1. Let's watch Joe LaCour here. He's just behind all that AMG. Just has to go a bit wider to make sure he avoids it. He's got Aidan Bro in that Ginetta. He's had to slot him behind now. So he's down to 4th now. Andrew Pike just behind him. David Martin as well. Doing well at the start of race number 2. Yeah, no, I'm not too bad, Joe. But it's constant stuff with that. That's just up and down. Sometimes that flares up, sometimes it doesn't. So that's been happening to me for like 22 years. So I can't moan too much. Rob Lovelace, unfortunately, had to retire to the pit. So yeah, his pedals. That's a massive bummer. I do like watching Rob race. Great chap, consistent, quick driver as well. Won a race in our previous ACC season, a GT3 season. That is. Now it's got 2 classes. You do have to specify that. So great start from Harry Webb. He's off into the lead. You can see here, lead of just over 4 tenths at the last sector time. Over Jonas Wenzel. Honestly, I think I'm saying his name differently every time I say it. He's just trying to close in on Harry at the front. Joe LaCour, nice and closely behind him. So you can see a train of cars coming to that stadium section. Hopefully everyone keeping it nice and clean entering that stadium section. Very easy to get tapped around there if the car in front. It just goes a little bit slower. Oh, and that's a whole lot of curb there being taken by Joe LaCour, cocking a leg up, and yeah, that is not the quick way round. Although, saying that, doesn't seem to have dropped much time. So pretty quick on 2 wheels, just as he is on 4. Yeah, that's really weird, JP. Is your Xbox like really old or anything? Have you got you've definitely got the latest drivers on your wheel? Yeah. Very weird. You're the only one having those problems. That just feels weird to me. We've run that amount of Clios a lot, so I didn't really make. Yeah, just confused me a bit, to be honest. So a little bit spread out now further back. Webb, though, solid first. There he is, solid first lap and a bit from him. So we know how quick Harry Webb is. I'm sure those real-life racing skills do come into fruition in sim racing. I'm sure they do with someone like Harry. He's raced in Formula 3 previously, so he's very quick on race rhythm, and he's evidently pretty rapid on here as well, GT3 and GT4. Seen him race elsewhere and mix it with some of the quickest. So it'll be awesome to see him push on ACCs especially. Oh, hill cam. So let's go back to Aidan when the camera picks him up. So in 4th at the moment. Let's go back to Joe LaCour. Actually, he's fighting with Wenzel for 2nd spot. You can see Harry Webb just a little bit up the road from them. Catch you later, Laura. Cheers for tuning in. Really appreciate that, man. Hope work goes okay. Stay safe, dude. See you soon. So nearly 4 minutes into this race. Fairly close throughout. A little bit of a couple of gaps in the middle. A few little taps have happened. But how much they've affected the gaps on the track at the moment, not sure. Aidan going a little bit wide there, just pushing a bit too hard into that second to last corner. So let's go on board with Andrew Pike. So he is behind Aidan, trying to follow in. They've got a bit of a gap up to the cars in front. Also, no, he's behind David Martin now, actually. So David Martin's got past. Daniel O'Brien just behind them. Let's go faster stripes on his BMW. We have Martin Legg just over a couple of seconds back. He's got Connor Garrard. A couple of tenths, no, just under a second now. Behind him, who was that going wide there? Was that Daniel O'Brien? I don't know, there was go faster stripes there. No, not sure. Not sure at all. I think Daniel O'Brien is. No, he's up ahead still. So it was Benjamin Martin Legg just going a little bit wider. Got Ivan Svalina in that AMG. Hopefully I'm saying his name right as well. Yeah, it's weird. Car going very wide there. A bit of gravel, I think that's the batch, unfortunately. No, that is not the batch. That is Lee Cushing. Might be Lee Cushing. Got Dean Thompson there just in front of him as well. So Lee Cushing's dropped back a couple of positions. Sebastian Busch in the busy liveried BMW. Dean Thompson on track just in front of them at the moment, so that will update in a minute. And then Stottmeyer in 15th. Unfortunately, Loveless settles sadly in the pits. Sad face. It's weird because you've got the pace, it's winning the race. It's, yeah, I don't know. Something odd there. I don't know if it's a connection thing. So I've known people have issues with their internet and that cause those issues. I don't know. Just like it doesn't keep up with the game quite in time, but still. It does strike me as a bit weird. So coming down to start another lap. I've really Harry Webb a little bit. 1.5 seconds. No time really between these two. Lecor still holding on to that second nicely ahead of Fensel. Aidan Bro just still needs to close that gap, but just struggling a little bit at the moment. So you can just trying to use as much of that to run off to the left, just to get as much turning angle as possible. We're just struggling a little bit at the moment to close that half a second gap up to Fensel and Lecor. Those two still fighting nose to tail though. Andrew Pike like further back in the AMG in this race, trying to close in on David Martin, but struggling a little bit. Daniel O'Brien another few seconds back in the BMW. He's clear of Martin Legg and Conor Garrard. We've got Sfalino and Debach. Debach here fighting, still trying to keep that AMG in his sights. Oh, very close to the back of him there, just slightly late on the braking, but did not touch him, thank the Lord. So it's all clean from that perspective. Let's go back to fight for the top four. So look at that, Aidan has closed that gap now, so Ventum in third. So Joe Lecor, oh crikey, so look at that gap, so Joe Lecor there. Wenzel right behind. Aidenborough looking up the inside, coming to the left-hander, so Janos is going to have to leave him the room. And he does, and he slots in. Bro going slightly wider though. Janos tries to hit that apex as expertly as he can, gives Aidan the room. I think he slots in coming into the final couple of corners though. So this might allow Joe Lecor to get away from these two a little bit if they have to defend and fight. Yeah. We'll have to do like a casual night, do a practice night on a Thursday or something and see how it feels, like, or a Friday, or whenever the Xbox chaps, anyone who wants to host it can give it a go and try and get enough guys in that we can see what happens. It shouldn't be a conflict. Yeah. Very weird. It always seems like if it happens to one person, no one else, which is a bit odd, doesn't really make any sense. But that's how it goes sometimes. Harry Webb. So let's see how far back they are from him. So look at that, 2.2 seconds, that's what that looks like. Nearly halfway through race number 2. And the guys behind just been dropped bit by bit here. Harry Webb just piling those laps in one after the other. His best lap in the 53s was on his previous lap as well, a 53.799, so driving superbly at the moment. And just letting those guys fighting behind. They're running mid-54s, low 54s. So he's gaining at least a few tenths on them every lap at the moment. Oh, hill cameras again, and just as we're about to see a car. So Aidan just dropping Jonas a bit again. Wenzel down in 4th now, but half a second back. And it's about 7 tenths between Brow and Lecor. Brow, welcome with that again. Bro and Lecor. So sausage goes, got to be careful on those. That's what they're there for. Another couple of wheels in the air there again, but doesn't seem to have affected him too badly. Yeah, best thing you can do, isn't it? Definitely worth dropping into that and see how it feels there. Yeah, make sure it's private lobbies as well. See how they go. Oh, Martin there with a drive through, so that's going to have been track limits unfortunately, so he's going to have to pop in to the pits pretty shortly. I think he gets 3 laps to do that, or 2 laps to do that. Otherwise it gets disqualified, which would be a bit of a bummer. So 10 minutes through, we'll have the pit crew coming in and telling us it's halfway through the race in a second. And Martin Legg is into his pits now.
We are halfway through, keep it up.
There we go. So 2.2 second lead. So that's come down a little bit. Joe Leclerc trying his best to close that gap. He's nearly a second ahead of Bro at the moment in third. So maybe that's just giving him a bit more freedom to push, focus on his own race, not worry about defending from the cars behind. A little bit spread out between them, about a second between each of these cars, second, third and fourth. So he's just pushing as hard as he can. He's up on his best lap at the moment, so 2.2 at the last sector. It'll be interesting to see if that comes down by a couple of tenths here and there. We're going to need to make inroads fairly shortly to try and, if we want to get anywhere near to Harry Webb before the end of the race. Yeah, again, now look at that, 1.9, so it is coming down. Aidan Bro just behind there, trying to tread carefully into this final sector. The leader, though, heading that Porsche at the moment, is Harry Webb. So driving nicely, very clean looking car, using as much of the road as he can without getting greedy, especially in that right-hander there. You've got to be very careful, that curb will launch you to the moon. So you do have to be careful not to be greedy here. Well, Joe Leclerc going a little bit wider than maybe he would have wanted to, so might have dropped a little bit of time there. Or saying that, Harry Webb uses a little bit of the kitty litter again. So what is the gap at the moment? So it was 1.9 seconds when they came over the line last time. Yeah, so it's very similar or exactly the same. I'm not even sure that changed. And then 8 tenths and 1.2 seconds. So they've spread out a little bit now. Let's go board back, a bit further back and watch some fighting. Oh, that's, I think, Dean Thompson taking a whole load of curb. The car behind him not quite making the corner either. So you can see Dean Thompson and the batch just ahead. So this is 9th, 10th and 11th. Dean Thompson doing pretty well at the moment. So the gap just ahead of him though, fairly big. Daniel O'Brien, Conor Garrett, Andrew Pike, all fairly spread out. Oh, Cushion doing all he can to latch back onto the batch. Getting a bit sideways there. Lots of blue going on here in these liveries. So the customisation options are pretty good. Everyone using a little bit of that green runoff at the edge, as you are allowed, which is all good. On board as well, we've got Svalina trying to make his way past Sebastian Busch. Busch in 12th for the moment. Svalina in the AMG looking maybe to just latch on to the back, maybe look up the inside, but he's not quite close enough yet. So just trying to get a bit closer. Oh, that car behind having a few issues there. Was that Stottermeyer? That definitely looked like it lagged, but I'm not sure there. I think his ping's a bit of an issue, so I'm not sure if he signs up for the lead. That might be a problem. We'll have to keep an eye on that. That was a big old lag spike. His ping on the graphic on the timing there, not great, but it's not terrible. Not fluctuating too much. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So Janosch down in 4th. You can see Aidan knows close that gap up to Joe Leclerc again. And Joe Leclerc been dropped a bit more by Harry Webb, so Harry Webb pulled that gap out again just a little bit. So not a good lap from Joe. Maybe he just started defending, or made a couple of mistakes, and that's dropped him back into the grasps of those behind. So Aidan will want second. You can see he's pushing harder now. Yeah, Mr. O'Brien in the BMW down in 7th at the moment. He's done well in the GT4. It's just not quite worked out for him this evening, as is the way sometimes. He's won races though in these previous GT4 nights. We know he's rapid. I think he's won a race last week and he won a race the week before. So we know he's quick. Aidan makes no difference now, all over the back of Joe Leclerc. Joe Leclerc's car bouncing off of that curb. You see Aidan just hitting each apex nicely at the moment, using all the track available to him. So Joe Leclerc will have to start getting on the defensive, get his elbows out. I imagine Aidan might start looking for a gap, or goes a little bit wide there into that gravel though. So that would have lost him some momentum. You can see he's just dropped back a couple of tenths. Does take a slightly narrower line though. Just coming into this final sector. So you can still see the leader ahead though. So 2.5 seconds up ahead, but and it doesn't feel like a massive gap, but yeah, 2.5 seconds at the moment. Unlikely they'll catch him in the last couple of laps unless that gap has come down. I think Harry Webb has made a mistake, that final sector of that. It'll be the 8th lap. Not a terrible lap, 1:54.5. It was only a tenth slower than Leclerc and Bro. So Janos now though, been dropped a little bit, so it's unlikely he'll be able to catch up with them. David Martin a bit further back, another 6.5 seconds back from those front four. Andrew Pike can see just behind him. Up in 6th at the moment. Daniel O'Brien in that Beamer. Got a fan club with JP in here. Is he taking the Beamer? That'll always get JP on your side. So got Conor Garrett down in 8th in the McLaren. So quite stretched out at the moment in the mid pack. Dean Thompson in 9th. We've got the Batch in 10th. We've got Lee Cushion all over the back of him. Lee Cushion just got a little bit wider down to go a little bit left. I think maybe just broke a tiny bit later and had to move out of the way of the Batch to make sure he didn't hit him. Sebastian Busch down in 12th. We've got Svalina and we've got Stottlemyre just behind him and Martin Legg. Yeah, so I think that drive-through penalty is why he's back there. But driving a decent race, unfortunate that penalty. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit more of those. Or you can see the cars in the background. They are pushing hard, these two now. So gap from his car doesn't look as close once you pop to this camera when we went from the TV cam, but it is pretty close. Yeah, forever a BMW fan, yeah, I can see. You're consistent on that. Everyone should know your stance now on that front. So just under 2.4 seconds at the last timing line between Joe Leclerc and the leader. Do need to keep an eye on that, just in case that time does come down. Joe Leclerc, so driving a really solid race at the moment. About half a second back is Aiden, and then Janos just closing that gap a little bit again. Venzel in 4th is not too far back. If these two fight in front of him, he will still be able to maybe latch back on to that fight and start becoming part of that conversation for 2nd and 3rd. But he does need them to close up and start fighting, otherwise he might struggle to catch them. Back with Lee Cushing back in 11th. So you can see here actually, so that is, I think that's the Batch just behind him. Yeah, so the Batch has fallen back a bit, so he's made a mistake on that lap. So Lee Cushing up to 10th now, the Batch in 11th. So they're all fairly spread out throughout the grid apart from those front four really. So it's the sight that greets Janos. Just over half a second. So he'll just be begging for those two to start fighting now. Because while those two are separated and driving their own pace, chances of him catching them are really slim. But if as soon as one of them is defending or attacking the other, and that might happen quite soon, as soon as Joe Leclerc has to start compromising his lines, and then they're going to close in pretty quickly. Even just look, one corner there, one corner. Joe Leclerc had to defend from Aiden behind him, and look how much closer now that Venzel is, just because of that one defensive turn from the two in front. So a couple more of those corners, and I think we might see a three-way fight for 2nd. Yeah, Joe Leclerc now, he's going to be getting on the defensive. Aiden is so close to the back of him. So Harry Webb starts the final lap. Let's see what his lead is, 3.2. So yeah, you can see those two are slowing down during this fighting. Let's go back on board with Joe Leclerc. So Joe Leclerc has half a second over Aiden Bro. So Leclerc, Bro and Venzel still in this fight for 2nd and 3rd. Those two final podium positions. Not much to separate them at all either. We'll stay on board with these guys because this is where all the fighting's happening on track. So we have got Camaro. We have the Ginetta G55 and we have the Mercedes AMG, all fighting it out, 3 different cars. Top 5 all different cars actually, Porsche in 1st as well, and then Aston Martin in 5th, so nice bit of variety spread out throughout the top 5. That's what I like about the GT4s, you get so much variation. Interesting to see no one pick the Alpine this evening, the A110, but we haven't seen that much of those in our OTL evenings. Be interesting to see if anyone picks that for the league. So coming around into the last half a lap now. Harry Webb still off into the distance. He knows he can take this easily. It's got a quick lead. Yeah, it's Harry Webb, not making any mistakes. 3.4 second lead, and then we have these three behind him. Oh, Aiden is going to maybe look. Yep, Joe Lecor is going to have to go narrow again. Did the same on the last lap. That meant that Janos suddenly was able to close in. Aiden all over the back of Joe Lecor. Janos is going to want to hurry up and get alongside those as soon as possible, because while those two are defending against each other, he might have an opportunity even into the last corner maybe, if they're really slowing each other down the next couple of turns, of having a fight. But Joe Lecor will have to do all he can now to keep Aiden behind him. So Harry Webb will be coming around the final corner. We'll stay on board though for this fight for second. And Joe Lecor will try and nail this final turn. It's well done, Harry Webb, on that win. Superb drive, Harry, as you see him cross the line ahead. And Joe Lecor does keep second, just ahead of Aiden Bro in third, and Janos Wenzel finishes in fourth spot. Great driving from all three of them to keep that close and that clean. Well done to you guys. Yeah, it looks like a big old... It looks like a monster. Let's put it that way. David Martin in fifth again. That'll get him good points if he's doing that kind of consistency in the league. Andrew Pike in sixth. Again, decent points for himself. The BMW of Daniel O'Brien comes round the final corner. Takes the checkered flag for seventh position. Conor Garrett as well comes around the final turn. He takes eighth spot. Dean Thompson coming now across the line now in ninth. We've got Lee Cushin just behind him in 10th place. The batch leading home a train of cars here. We have the batch, we have Sebastian Busch, we have Jonathan Stottlemyre, and we have Ivan Svalina coming across the line. And final, last but not least, unfortunately with his drive through earlier, Martin Legg coming home. Actually gets 13th due to a 30-second time penalty for Jonathan Stottlemyre. So yeah, it's a good variety of cars. That's what you've got to love about GT4. You do some cracking driving. So yeah, that was won by Harry Webb, driving superbly in that Porsche. Joe Lecor taking second in the Camaro. The Ginetta of Aidenborough taking third, and then Wenzel just behind in that AMG. So yeah, some good racing this evening. A lot of variety. It'll be interesting to see how they fare in the league for sure. It'll be a slightly different format to what you're seeing in these casual races. The format for the league is that you will have a qualifying session. Let me just get this up so I can make sure I read all the details correctly to you. So yeah, you will have two races, so effectively a sprint race and a feature race. Feature race, but it's still fairly short. A bit longer than tonight though. So you'll have a first race that is, there we go. So you'll have a first race that is 15 minutes. You'll have a 10-minute qualifying before that. And the qualifying session dictates the grids for both races. So the qualifying at the start of the night is the grid for race 1 and race 2. First race is 15 minutes. Second race is 30 minutes. So yeah, slightly shorter first race than we've done tonight, but then a longer second race. And as I said, grids being the same for race number one and number 2, taken from that qualifying at the start of the evening. Should be good. Good tracks in that league as well. We've got Zandvoort to start the league off in a few weeks' time. Misano, we've got Spa-Francorchamps, Kyalami, Hungaroring and Zolder. And there will be a bit of variety in terms of the daytime. Not sure if we're going for any wet weather at the moment, but definitely be some variety, a bit of nighttime racing for sure. So there will be a bit of fun. Yes, I'm sure you enjoyed those as the drive-through clearly testified. But yeah, there was some good racing tonight, so hopefully they enjoyed it. I'm sure there'll be bits that they want to improve on. But I'm sure they're all looking forward to this GT4 League. It should be good fun. Evening, Simo. So Simo, are you talking in terms of time of day? Thank you very much for the follow as well. Much appreciated. So you're talking, yeah, time of day. So real world time, yeah. It's so 8 PM British summertime. So all our races at the same time as tonight. So that was, we started an hour and 25 minutes ago. I don't know where you live, but yeah, 8 PM British summertime. We are UK based. And yeah, so about an hour and 25 minutes earlier than it is now. And last about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. UK 2. Lovely stuff. So yeah, 8 PM BST. well, 8 p.m, whatever it is in the UK at any given time, but BST at the moment. And yeah, so obviously that's PC for Assetto Corsa Competizione. I don't know if that's the platform and game you're interested in. If you're not in the Discord already, if you go to OTL Racing, actually let me do this for you. You've already jumped in. Lovely. I love someone with a bit of initiative. It's always a good sign. Awesome. Yeah, no, hop in and ask any questions you need to. Do the choose your roles. That will show you the appropriate channels. If you want to do, say, the GT4 League, it'll be on Thursday nights. Next 2 Thursday nights are assessment evenings, so for new drivers that need to hop in and make sure they're okay for the leagues. We double check that the connections are okay and everything like that, and that their driving standards aren't psychopath behind a wheel kind of bad, public lobby stuff. So we try to avoid that. But yeah, I don't know if is it ACC PC you're involved in or whatever. Say so in the choose your roles. There's a gamer tags and country channel. Just chuck some bit of details in there. It's always good. ACC PC, lovely. So yeah, GT4s. We've got GT3s already currently going now, so unlikely to be able to hop into those in this season. With GT4 starting, as I said, we've got Thursday nights. We have racing every Thursday on GT4s. The league starts, I believe, in 3 weeks. So next 2 Thursdays are assessment nights, and then the one after that is round number 1. But yeah, if you want to get involved, sign up for the league. Actually, I can probably, if you give me a second, I can get the sign up link if you're interested. If you're in the Discord as well. Let me just pop that in the stream chat. So if you want to keep it close, that's the link for the sign up for the GT4s. And then you'll be added to the role, then you'll see all the channels you need to see. And you can get involved. But just, if any questions, just ask. We can point you in the right direction, tag you in the right channels. There's quite a few channels, then it depends how familiar you are with Discord. Can be a bit of a mess sometimes. So yeah, if you're not sure where to look, do ask. We'll point you in the right directions. It shouldn't do. Oh yeah, right. Capitalise the S in sign up. That is a pic. I think the problem there is picnic. Problem in chair, not in computer. Let's try that again. So it's that. Wish it wasn't so picky, bitly, but there we go. So yeah, capital letters. But yeah, so if you want to sign up, yes, problem between. Problem between exist. What was the other one? Problem exists between keyboard and chair. It'd be funny if it wasn't true, but hey ho, can't get the staff. I.e. me. Oh well, right, yeah. So anyways, on that note, ask any questions. In case you're not sure, by the way, I'm Matt Simo. I am MattX88 in the Discord. So just shoot me a question if you have one, or if not, just ask in general chat. People can point you in the right direction. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed a bit of what you saw this evening. So yeah, cheers everybody for watching. Yeah, you too, man. I appreciate the your eyes and ears this evening. Cheers for the follow. Like I said, really do appreciate that. Yeah, I will be back on, most likely not tomorrow night, with how hot it's going to be. I think that's going to be borderline unbearable. Unfortunately, it's going to be that hot tomorrow, but we'll see. Fingers crossed it won't be quite as hot as they're saying it's going to be, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. On Sunday night, I will be back for round number 2 of the GT3 League on ACC. That is at Spa-Francorchamps. And that is our hour-long race on Sunday evening. That should be good fun. So that is on... We're into August by this point. Crikey, that's gone quick, haven't we? Yeah, cheers, JP. On Tuesday, we have round number 3 of the Clio Cup on Xbox One Project Cars 2. That is season number 5, and that is at Snetterton 300. So longer track for the Clio. So I know they do enjoy those longer tracks. That should be fun. Next week, we've got the first evaluation night for the GT4 League on ACC as well. So hopefully I'll be streaming that with you as always, and then a bit of race room, the end of the race room season on Formula 3 next Friday at Paul Ricard. So yeah, should be good fun. So yes, anyways, on that note, thank you ever so much for watching. I appreciate your eyes and ears for the evening as always. If you want to get involved, go to otlracing.com/Discord, join the Discord, say hi, get involved, let us know what you want to get involved with, and we'll point you in the right direction. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching this evening. I will hopefully see you either tomorrow or Sunday for our next stream, but if not, take care, stay safe, and I will see you all soon. So take care and goodbye.